Convention Centre, and this is the venue for the latest in the series of New Age business briefings brought to you by the SABC. And today we're talking sports and culture, and we've got a high-powered panel to discuss that on stage. And let me quickly introduce them to you, and then we're going to take a look at a very special video that's been prepared about the man that's being honoured here today with this particular Sports and Culture Day. And just before the break, you met Minister Fikile Mbalula, but next to him, on my right, we have the Minister of Arts and Culture, Minister Paul Mashatile. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Minister Fikile Mbalula, always great to have you. Next to you, the President of SAFA, Mr. Kirsten Matandani. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us. And next to you is Mr. Oregon Hoskins, who's the President of the South African Rugby Union. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm going to ask you for a few opening remarks in just a short while. But before that, what we thought we'd do is take a look at this video that's going to play now. And essentially, we're here to honor Nelson Mandela, perhaps one of our greatest citizens of all time. And his contribution to sport over the years has been legend. Let's take a look.
He made his mark in the field of politics, but his influence spread much further. It was, in fact, the sporting fields that were his first love. His favorite was boxing, and as a young man, he took his turn in the ring, training every day, until he was good enough to spar with a local champion.
That's what I thought I would be one day, but I never was. I never was even a professional boxer.
As a national leader, he never forgot his love for the sport.
When you are in government, you can make the mistake of forgetting your old friends.
I wasn't even able to eat this morning because I get full from the inspiration that I get whenever I'm in President Mandela's company.
It's such an inspiration to come and be with the president and also to come to South Africa that I am overwhelmed with joy.
It's also a great pleasure to be here with Mr. Mandela, the president, and with my brothers and my sisters, and where my grandfathers have once laid a footprint on the ground. This gives me a great feeling to be here.
For boxers Roberto Duran and marvellous Marvin Hagler, meeting the famous legend was another trophy to their plate.
I'm very proud and honored in watching his achievements along the way.
Everybody love you, all the beautiful things you do in the world and for everybody.
He has a chance to regain if he trains properly.
When he wasn't throwing punches, his love turned to soccer. From one giant to another, world star Pele met his match in world statesman Nelson Mandela.
It is a great honor for me to welcome him. And he has become an institution, not only in regard to his own country, but throughout the world.
I travel all over the world. I met queens, right upstate, important people, but I will die before to see you. I thank God for this opportunity.
Out on the greens, his influence was as strong. The star of his generation, Tiger Woods, gleamed his inspiration from this living legend.
It is a great honor not only to me, but to South Africans, that we should be visited by such an eminent sportsman.
This has been a dream of mine for 30 years to meet the president. I couldn't get tickets to his concert, his attendance at New York in Madison Square Garden when you were there. I couldn't get there, so I was looking forward to this. And it is my desire to introduce Tiger to well-known, responsible, achieving members of the black race, so that he can be aware of his heritage and be proud.
And proud Madiba was when his country won the Rugby World Cup.
I went round the stadium. I did not expect such an ovation.
A momentous occasion, unbelievable occasion. And there was Madiba wearing a Springbok jumper. I thought, wow. And in his very calm, collective way, sincere way, he wished the guys well. And then he turned around. And when he turned around, I saw it was my number. And I was just, that's it, you know. I was ready to run through anything and do whatever is necessary to win this game. Any other president in the world would have worn his best suit. Here comes a guy that was incarcerated, supporting a white man's game, wearing a white man's jumper. Incredible. I couldn't sing. I was biting my lower lip because I knew if I opened my mouth I would start to cry. I was just so proud, unbelievably proud.
On the athletic field, he was right up front with the best of them, breaking world records with his Madiba charm.
And it's an honor to meet the president and spend time with such a world hero. And I'm basically speechless being here with him.
Well, I'm trembling, you know, with your president. I'm trembling.
Underwater, his influence was just as powerful, his strokes and magic creating their own charm.
I'm just really honored to be here and to meet Dr. Mandela, and he certainly has inspired me. I'm sure I'm going to go out now and really try my best for South Africa and not just for myself. That's really an honor. Thanks.
It's a great moment for me to be able to welcome her. Our young people, you know, are reaching out for the stars. They have become our best instruments for uniting the country and for helping to open the doors of the international community to South Africa.
And a lot of it, Tata Madiba, is thanks to you. You started the journey and showered us with your love.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, superstar of superstars. And many have come from across the globe. Such has been his influence, not just here in South Africa, but the whole planet, dare I say the universe, if they're watching us from beyond our galaxy. Nelson Mandela, great contributor, not just to the political and social life of our country, but certainly through sport as well, as you saw in that celebratory video. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a quick word from our panel members here, just their thoughts on this upcoming special day and legacy, I guess, that's going to be left. Minister Paul Mashatile, it's a sports and culture day, and we don't often put the two together, but I guess you must be excited to be bringing sport and culture and celebrating Nelson Mandela. Tell us your thoughts about this day and why you're excited to be part of it.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, and let me join my colleague, Minister Mbalula, by wishing Tata well in hospital. The important thing about this day is that we're bringing sports people together, artists together, to celebrate the legacy of Tata Madiba. We know that this month essentially is Nelson Mandela month. On the 18th of July, the entire world celebrate Nelson Mandela International Day. But we will celebrate again on the 17th of August in this Nelson Mandela Sports Day. We want to bring all South Africans together because one of the things that Nelson Mandela dedicated his life to was to make sure that we build a South Africa that belongs to all of us, one nation. We must ensure that we have a socially inclusive society. So we must continue to build on that legacy. So we want to call all South Africans to say, let's come together, let's work together. And the best thing you can do is to celebrate together. And sports, arts, and culture are the vehicles to bring people together. We've seen what happened in 2010 when we had the FIFA World Cup. We were all South Africans. There was no black or white. We were all South Africans. And that's really what we want to see happening going into the future. So we are very excited working with Minister Mbalula that we've pulled this together. And we're hoping that this is going to be the way South Africans must continue to live their life, working together. On the 17th of August at FNB Stadium, we want to see the Rainbow Nation that Tata Madiba spoke so much about.
All right, and certainly was it the black, white, red and purple people? Minister Mbalula, so you gave us some opening remarks, but this is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to be huge. I think I want to thank our sports people for coming out, and people in arts this morning. I think this is very special. One time when I went to visit President Mandela, it was when I was in the youth league and we're going to rebury Anton Limbede. And then he asked me, how much will it cost you? I said, we have mobilized 20,000. He said, you know Limbede? You know Limbede with 20,000? And then he started calling business people. In no time, I had 10 million in my pocket.
Wow.
And then to go and rebury the former president of the youth league. And I'm saying that because today, when I see sports people, rugby, cricket, and the legends, and administrators gathering here, it indeed speaks to what Madiba stood for. I see our people toiling on a daily basis, crying for good, but we must never lose hope about where we are going. And we will always know, as individuals, as persons, that Nelson Mandela will never die as long as we, who are toiling masses, are walking in his footsteps and fulfill the dreams of what he wanted to achieve. Mandela will die if we become hopeless. And it is our duty, individually and all around, to celebrate Madiba through our deeds and what we want to achieve. Politicians, sports people, in everything. We want to be the best of the best in everything that we want to do. And I know that some members of the family are here, and they will also be introduced. Our journey has just begun, and I think we'll end up at the Nelson Mandela Center of Memory, where everybody will have an opportunity to actually speak. And I think at this moment, when we think about what we want to achieve, I think our prayers and everything are with the family. And we're proud of what Madiba has done for this country. We've got no reason to be sad. We've got every moment to celebrate. We're a great nation. We must proud ourselves about the fact that what God has given to other nations is not equal to South Africa. And that is why when we sing our national anthem, we must sing it with conviction every day of our life and say, God bless South Africa. Thank you very much.
Minister, thank you very much indeed. Kirsten Matandani, President of SAFA. It's the most played sport on the planet and by far and away the most popular in the country. And I suppose we couldn't have a National Sports Day, a Nelson Mandela Sports Day, without football being there. Tell us about how you see SAFA, football, being part of these celebrations.
Thank you very much. I must say, on behalf of football, one would want to say, indeed, it's a great honor and a privilege to be part of that very special day. And from a football perspective, I must say, we have started this journey long ago. As you know, year in, year out, we always have what we call the Mandela Challenge. And indeed, this year is not going to be different. On the very 14th, before the 17th, we'll start with the Mandela Challenge, which continuously contributed to the welfare of the Mandela Children's Fund. And to us, and of course on behalf of the spectators, the players, and the many supporters in this country. Our football is where it is because of his inspiration, his guidance and courage. And we can never forget the Madiba magic that took us from nowhere to make us African champions. If you recall, back in 1996, we came from nowhere, from 4x4 to African champions. And we attribute all those successes to his inspiration, the courage and the confidence inspired the nation. And the greatest benefits from Madiba's legacy was us as football, because the isolation never did us any good. But from there, surely, here we are talking about the World Cup. It's out of his sacrifices, selflessness, and the many others who laid their life on ensuring that we are liberated. We can't thank him more. And I must say, we are very proud to be part of the day, and to thank the Minister, and of course Minister of Arts and Culture, Minister of Sports, for coming up with the initiative. Little did we thought this day would be the way it's panning out to be, and I'm looking forward to that day. Any South African who failed to get a ticket, not to be out there, surely I know you'll be glued on your TV, but that's a day that you have to dedicate your energies, prayers for his recovery, as we wish him speedy recovery, joining the millions out in the world to want to see him continuing to energize us and inspire us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we certainly hope that his magic will help us get to Brazil. Slim chance, but there's hope. There's always hope, isn't there?
With Madiba's magic, everything is possible.
All right. So, the green and gold. Yeah, another sporting code that's much loved and much followed, and it's going to be great to see the Vox on the day as well.
Peter, yes, thank you very much. When our minister approached us about this, we immediately responded. It's just great. It's a great privilege for the sport of rugby once again to be associated with Tata Madiba. The miracle of South Africa is probably best displayed in that iconic picture in 1995 when Francois was here and Tata Madiba held aloft the Webb Ellis Trophy. And that picture is seen all over the world. And we're looking forward to being part of the celebrations on the 17th of July. I'd like to also thank Argentina for so eagerly agreeing to be part of that day, and Ambassador Carlos is here, our friend. I want to thank Argentina for agreeing, and I think it would be appropriate to also say that we should never forget what Tata Madiba really and truly stands for in terms of South Africa. And on the 17th, we have an opportunity as all South Africans to look at each other and to say, I forgive you. Let us continue to reconcile as a people. Let's not lose the message of what Tata Madiba has asked us to do as a people. And that's really what the 17th of July is all about.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for your opening remarks to you gentlemen. And I've got to say that, you know, as you brought back some of those memories, I could feel my heart swell a little bit. And I've got the grey hair to prove that I've lived through a lot of those moments. So thank you very much indeed for helping us reminisce. But we'll continue to talk about the future and what's coming. And it's going to be a great day. Can you imagine watching a soccer match and a rugby match on the same field, on the same day, in the same stadium? I don't know how they're going to do it. We're going to discuss that in a short while, because that's going to be, I think, a technical achievement of note. But it's going to be very exciting for the fans that are going to be there. All right, okay, now, after the break,